Hi there. In this video we're going to demonstrate how to dynamically inject any type of user element or UI element into an existing region within your application. So in a previous video we had actually created a specialized or a custom books ribbon tab, and so we'll take a look at that just to recap. So in this we actually made a copy of the default ribbon tab rather, and we called it, in this case, the Books Ribbon tab, and we added it into our LightSwitch client as seen here. And so there's a previous video that you can watch to see that. And what we did then is we added a specific ribbon group, and inside that ribbon group we added a ribbon gallery. And so now we have a little bit of extra sauce inside our ribbon tab for a books ribbon. And what we did also is we changed this up so that we targeted our navigation command to inject itself into this rad ribbon gallery. I'm going to turn that off just for simplicity's sake. So to do that, all I need to do is go into our properties, and I'm going to change this. So right now it is a menu item, and going inside that gallery, I'm going to change that back to a ribbon button, and I'm going to remove the let's see, this right here, which is basically injecting it. So by just deleting that, we will no longer have this command go into this area here. In fact, it's just going to go back into its normal region. Okay, so that's cool. Further, we added another LightSwitch command. So previously we had this one LightSwitch command, which was it did nothing in the previous video, and now it's actually going to add code dynamically. And then we added a second LightSwitch command, which will actually remove the dynamic UI that we add in this when this command is pressed. So we've got basically something that adds UI and something that removes UI. All right, so let's take a look at the actual code. And so we'll start with the stuff that adds, which is the sum command, execute. And the very first thing that you notice there is that we're wrapping this around the LightSwitch threading dispatcher's main thread. And so we're invoking this code and logic inside that so that we don't have any thread violations when we execute it. And then the first thing that we do in this code is we get a hold of this DockShell service proxy. And the DockShell service proxy, and the reason we're getting that is so that we can take advantage of the DockShell API to inject UI. So the first thing that we do is we're testing to see that we actually don't already have this thing called a myrad order wrap panel, and this will be more evident in a second. And if we do, we just simply return. The second thing we do is we say, okay, get a hold of a control by the name of RG. So where does RG come from? Well, from the previous video, RG is actually this ribbon group here. So it's this guy right here. And so we're trying to find out, or trying to get an instance of that. And so if we come back here, we can see that we test to make sure that we do have an instance. And then we start creating our various UI elements. So we're creating a rad ordered panel, wrap panel. And what we're doing here is we're injecting that rad panel into this ribbon group. And once that's done, we're creating a stack panel. And once we have that stack panel, we inject that into our rad ordered panel. And then we create a combo box, and we inject that combo box into our stack panel. And then once we have our combo box, we are creating a combo box, ribbon combo box item, injecting that into our previously created combo box. And as you can see, it just keeps doing that for the different font names. After that, we create a rad ribbon combo box, and we then inject that for sizes into our stack panel. So basically we're just building out a bit of UI composition here dynamically, and so on and so forth. And so that's what happens when we hit the command to execute. On remove, all we're doing is we're going after that particular ordered panel, and we're just calling the remove UI element API to remove that from the screen itself, or actually from the application in this case. There's a couple of other things I wanted to point out here. If you look, you'll see that there's this LightSwitch screen actions interface that we've added to our LightSwitch screen. And the purpose behind that is to get notified when the screen is actually being removed, so that we can actually conveniently remove and re-add those commands. Now this happens when you do, if you go into design mode on the screen, and when you come back, it actually LightSwitch removes that screen. So you actually have to also be cognizant of that and call this remove and then add the commands back. And the reason is if you don't do that, then you'll not be able to get a reference to that. Actually, you can get a reference to it. Problem is that the control of the screen itself is completely gone. So LightSwitch has removed the screen. So that's how that's all done. All right, and so let's take a look at how that works at runtime now. So we have our screen up here, and actually what I'll do is close this off for a second and just restart it all so that we can see all the changes that we just made. Okay, so we have this test ribbon. It's basically a rad ribbon gallery, button gallery that has nothing in it. And part of this demo is just we're not even going to put anything in there. But if I hit this and open up the screen itself, so once the screen is open, if you right click, now you can see that I've got two commands. The reason these are here, again, we'll go back and recap that. It's because if we go back to our navigation group here, you can see that from our properties setting that we are actually targeting the application ribbon area application context menu region. So that is a region that, if you watch a previous video, is actually right here. So it's a context menu that's part of the shell itself. And of course, you can create your own additional types of regions, but this is basically how that's getting in there. So if we go back to our application, you can see that adding and removing controls is something that's contextually aware specifically to the screen, right? So if I was to, for example, go over to members, now the reason that this screen is still here is because members and books share the same screen. So if I open up the members screen, now I'm on the members screen. I'll just float that as well, just so that it's up and out of the way. But if I now right-click, you see that there's no commands. There's no commands associated to this because in order for those commands to show up, you have to actually be on the screen itself. So when I click on the books list detail and right-click, now I have that. I have those commands. So now if I hit Add Controls, you can see that if I go back to our Ribbon tab here and hit Add Control, whoops, click on that menu, this screen itself. See, I'm on the members list screen. So now I click on there and hit Add Controls. You can see that the command, the LightSwitch command, is executed. And if I do remove, it removes the controls. So now if I add controls, and again, I go into that design screen, and I come out of it, like so. In fact, these controls actually had to get rebuilt, and that was through that LightSwitch interface. And if you close, on screen close, we're tearing down those controls and removing them out. So that's how you can build a pretty dynamic application. You can build basically any type of control you want. All you need to do is have a region to inject the controls in. And to get that region, you need to have already previously identified it to have a region. Should point out a few other things here. When you are creating a control, so in this case here, where we're calling this inject UI element, it will infer for you on your behalf a region, so that it'll automatically create a region. So by subsequent injection here, it'll automatically have a underlying code generated region for you, so it's automatic. There you go. So that's the inject API. It may seem a little confusing at first, but once you start to get used to it, you can see that you have the ability to inject and control your application in a very discrete manner, and be able to inject any type of control pretty much anywhere in your application. In fact, anywhere in your application. Thank you very much and have a nice day.